15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower cleared.
We got a roll program. Neil Armstrong reporting the roll and pitch program, which puts Apollo 11 on a proper heading. Plus 30 seconds. Roll complete and pitch program.
What's up, G.I. Joe fans? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, we'd like to welcome you to our G.I. Joe Astronaut exhibit here at the M.I.B. Master Museum. Guys, we just wanted to take you on a quick tour of this wonderful exhibit that we have, and welcome all of our new subscribers to the channel. This is what we do here, guys. We take requests. We have a lot of fun. We do tons of exhibits and all types of things here at the M.I.B. Master Museum, and today is no exception. As promised, we'll be bringing you tons of exhibits for the new year, and we wanted to kind of start it off on a more of a futuristic type of a theme with our G.I. Joe Astronauts exhibit. And all of the astronauts that I've collected throughout the years for my museum collection. I'm a huge astronaut and NASA space program buff. I've always been ever since I was a kid. So when G.I. Joe came out with these awesome astronauts, I couldn't resist. I had to add everyone I could find to my museum collection. And we'll start right here with my 1997 Mercury 7 G.I. Joe. Let's bring him in a little bit for you. Beautifully done. Just another awesome figure. I bought this from Toys R Us back in 1997. And this was one of my first G.I. Joe astronauts. And this is from the Classic Collection line. And as you can see, it's got a fifth panel and a sixth panel here. Just beautifully done, beautifully made, wonderfully done. All of the equipment and the gear has that very cool, very authentic feel and look to it. Even the head sculpt on this Joe was redone to give it more of a 1950-ish, 60-ish type of a feel to it. The haircut. Hasbro thought of everything. They spared no expense when putting these beautiful figures together. Let's move on. That's our Mercury astronaut. Move him over here. Let's take a look at our Time Life magazine G.I. Joe exclusive edition. And this is our Apollo moon landing. Just another beautiful figure. I bought this back in 2002 from Walmart, and just a gorgeous, gorgeous set. And I could never bring myself, I'm an M.I.B collector anyway, but the boxes themselves are collectibles in their own right. I could never bring myself to destroy this box. As you can see, it comes with a Life magazine miniature version. All real pages in there of the actual moon landing back then, during that time period. And here's our look of at our G.I. Joe. Everything is authentic, beautifully done, down to the very last stitch. There's his American flag, gloves, everything, down to the hoses, everything, belts, patches, nameplate. Head sculpt is awesome. Everything about these figures are just beautifully done. There's this backpack. Guys, what do you think of our astronaut exhibit? Do you have any of these guys? Are you looking for some of these guys? Once again, with anything, you can find anything these days. Anything, trust me. It's all about what you're willing to pay. But you don't have to look that far. You have our museum exhibit here that you can check out and give you some great ideas and even help you out picking out the one you probably want to grab and add to your collection if you don't have these guys in your collection. I strongly recommend adding some of these guys to your museum collection. They're beautifully done, and I don't consider these guys, if I don't have a astronaut in my collection, I don't have a collection. I like to have all types of time periods of historical situations and events. And what bigger historical event than the moon landing? And to have G.I. Joe and Hasbro team up to make this beautiful figure, it's phenomenal. And that's our Apollo moon landing. Set him back up here, and let's bring in our, this is our John Glenn's Mercury Astronaut, Life magazine. There's a beautiful picture of John Glenn on a cover of our miniature Life magazine, the actual Life magazine that came out back in that time period. And here's a picture of the figure, our G.I. Joe Mercury Astronaut. And once again, everything beautifully made. All the hoses and wiring, and there's his connector to his oxygen tank. There's the G.I. Joe nameplate. The fabric materials that was used for this actual space suit was just beautiful. There's the zippers, beautifully done. Beautifully done. Another wonderful figure that I picked up from Walmart back around the same time period, I think 2002, 2003. Picked up this beautiful figure. That's awesome. I love this head sculpt. Different type of hand sculpts there on this figure, and the box is just gorgeous. There's even a smaller version of the Life magazine there, posted inside of the window box frame. And we wanted to reach out to all of our, astronaut and space buffs, enthusiasts. And just we try to touch on and connect with every collector out there and enthusiast, whether it's from the Western time period, the space time periods, you know, any time period, World War II. We want to try to bring all of these exhibits to everybody that's interested, you know, in these different time periods. And that's what this is all about. That's what we're all about here at MIB Master Museum. And on top of that, it's just so fun and cool to reconnect with some of these figures that I haven't seen in a very long time. And to have them all on stage together at the same time is super cool. So that's another thing I really enjoy about doing these exhibits. That's our Mercury astronaut. Let's set him to the side here. And now this is a tricky one. This is our biggest one. Here's our timeless collection mission splashdown. And as you can see, he's inside of his space capsule. This is the only space capsule that I own. And I remember back in the 1960s when they brought out the G.I. Joe space capsule. Every kid wanted one, and I wasn't born in that time period. So I wasn't born until the 1970s, but I always wanted one. And when this one was released, I believe this was released in 1998, 1999, I absolutely, positively had to get one. And this is more on the vintage style G.I. Joe body, head sculpt. Everything about this was made to that scale from the 1960 vintage G.I. Joe. Everything from the space capsule all the way down, and he behind this sector right here, all of this back here, he has an additional equipment and accessories. So once again, this box is extremely heavy. He has an extra suit. He has another space suit, another set of boots, baseball cap, you name it. He's got a ton of stuff. So this is a huge play set. And I've had it in my museum collection ever since 1998, 1999. So it's very old, and I just love it to death. Let's see if we can get you in. Sorry for the glare there. We'll get you some shots of his dashboard in there. He's got his chest piece right there. More zippers. Super cool. Let's close this up. Here's the front of that box. Timeless collection. Massive. And this was a Toys R Us exclusive. You only can get this at Toys R Us. I love those exclusives. Super cool, super fun. Let's bring you in another cool. Oh boy. Here's our action astronaut, our masterpiece edition. Get you a blown out shot there. Limited to 15,000. Let's get you an inside shot here. And this is just beautiful. There's a fifth panel here. It's more made out of just a book type of a situation that they were going for, and it's extremely heavy. Just a gorgeous set. Gives you the inside story here. It comes with a book right here. This is strictly for collectors. And this is from 1996. Don Levine, John Mitlick. It's a beautiful book cover there, and this book has tons of information about G.I. Joe, tons of information about, you know, the creators of G.I. Joe. You name it, this book has it. I've never opened this set. This set is brand new, bought back in 1996, and just beautifully done. And here's our G.I. Joe Astronaut. Painstakingly, every stitch, every zipper, everything made like the 1960, the mid 1960 vintage G.I. Joe Astronaut. Here's his bag. As you can see, the bag has never been opened, with all of his hoses and equipment and gear inside there. There's his chest compressor there. And you have those beautiful footy like boots on him, and you can see he's locked in pretty good. There's his manuals and pamphlets and stuff back there. The gloves and the material that was used for, to create this suit. It's just gorgeous. It's a shiny metallic type of a material, reminiscent of the actual suit material that was used for the real astronauts in that time period. There's a beautiful shot of the head sculpt, of the vintage G.I. Joe head sculpt. They did a beautiful job on this figure, and you got a lot with him. He came with a ton of equipment and accessories. Just beautifully made. Real zippers. Actual real zippers on his suit. There's his dog tag in the back there. Like I said, you can't beat this set. Comes with the book, you name it. And this is one of my favorite G.I. Joe astronauts. Out of all my astronauts, not just because he's extremely collectible and he's rare and he's all those things. I just think he's super cool. And I could never own one of these guys back when I was a kid because, A, they were out of production at that point, but B, they were just super expensive. To find this in this type of condition now, you're talking thousands upon thousands of dollars for this set. To find it in this condition, a vintage set. And we've had this for a very long time. This is this set's over 20 years old. And that's our G.I. Joe Astronaut here, Masterpiece Edition. And it truly is a masterpiece. It's beautifully done. Beautifully done. A lot of work went into making this set. Let's get you another shot of the front. Guys, what do you think about our astronaut exhibit? Good or bad or indifferent? What type of exhibits would you like to see in the future? Please leave your comments and all that great information in a comment section right underneath this video. Guys, we have one more for you. And this one was a toughie to find. This is our Shuttle Astronaut G.I. Joe Classic Collection from 1997. And that's from that commemorative limited edition astronaut series. Beautifully done. Once again, a 5th and 6th panel, as you can see. This is considered the 6th panel. Here's the 5th panel right here. Let's open him up and get you some great shots. And this is Robert L. Crippen, 1981 launch. I believe this is Columbia. The name of this space shuttle was Columbia. There's a beautiful inside information on Robert L. Crippen. Let's get you a shot of our astronaut here. Just beautiful head sculpt of Robert Crippen. The suit is just phenomenal. And as you can see, with the 5th panel, it protects all of this plastic. So the plastic is just gorgeous. It's almost like glass. So you get a lot of reflection on this guy. Once again, it's just a beautifully made. This has got to be my second favorite one because he was so hard to find. Very hard to find during that time period. I looked around, and it took me a year after this guy was released. That's how really desirable this particular astronaut, Robert L. Crippen astronaut figure was. Very desirable, very hard to get. He didn't stay in the toy stores very long. So he was very hard to find. But I finally tracked him down, and he's been in our museum collection for a while now. Ever since, I want to say, 1998. So it's about 20 years. He's been in our museum collection for about 20 years now. And once again, the suit, all the way down to the patches, everything. There's the NASA patch. There's his nameplate, the helmet, everything. The head sculpt is just, once again, I can't say enough about that head sculpt. Beautifully done. He's got, this is a tint to his visor, you know, which is another cool aspect. Guys, we have more fun, more exhibits on the way. We want you to stay tuned. Grab your favorite beverage. Mine is coffee right now. Hop on the couch and kick back and relax. And tune in to the M.I.B. Master Museum channel. God bless. And keep collecting.